Welcome back, everybody. My name's Ricky, this is Brendan, together we're ETFW, and today we're back in the Blue Mountains. Literally on a mountain. Brendan, do you want to tell them what we're doing tonight?
So tonight we have a very special episode lined up for you guys. We are going to be investigating the Mount Victoria Museum. Now we are lucky enough to be able to come back here. We are revisiting the place. The reason we say revisiting is because, I mean, you guys haven't seen it, but unfortunately during our last trip here, Rick and the camera fell through an abandoned bridge.
Quite literally.
Yeah, quite literally. And unfortunately, well, fortunately, Ricky turned out, ended up a bit better than the camera. Camera was damaged and we had to film it on our phone, and the quality just wasn't up to par with what our standards are, and we felt like we didn't do it justice. It's a really amazing place.
100%.
I won't spoil it too much for you guys. It's an awesome place. Really cool episode lined up for you guys.
So we're all about giving you guys quality videos, quality episodes, and like Brendan said, we just couldn't publish it. We just couldn't post it. The footage was just, as Brendan said, not up to par. So, you know, we figured let's come back, let's revisit it, let's give you guys the video that this place deserves. And I guess with that said, we're gonna get off this mountain because we're literally freezing our balls off up here. It's freezing, and we're gonna make our way over to the museum. So guys, we won't keep you waiting any longer, and we'll pick it back up at the museum. Enjoy this view. The Mount Victoria railway station opened in 1868. It offered a final stop for passengers to refresh themselves before continuing their journeys west. The refreshment house off the platform provided accommodation, food, warmth, and a place to rest. Its walls heard the chilling stories from World War I, as it housed soldiers before and after they made their way to the Sydney docks to either fight or return from the war. The refreshment room saw a rise in traffic again as the world embarked on its Second World War. The refreshment house was a frequent stop to trains holding Japanese prisoners of war, their last stop before being taken to Cowra. In 1971, the Mount Victoria Historical Society took up the lease on the once bustling building and turned it into what it is known as today, a museum, housing artifacts from Australian history and all over the world. Unsettling though is not the large array of historical objects, but the otherworldly visitors who seem to roam its once bustling rooms. The museum is reported to be extremely active with paranormal activity. Will we find traces of the paranormal? There's only one way to find out. Follow us as we explore the Mount Victoria Museum.
We here.
And we back, guys.
We here.
The Mount Victoria Museum.
Damn, there it is there, guys.
All right, let's park up, take you guys in. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
1 minute, 37 seconds later.
Want you some date night? I want to.
Alrighty guys, so we're inside the Mount Victoria Museum now. We've been here for a couple of hours just filming a bunch of B-roll and cool cinematics. We're going to take you guys through a little bit of a tour and show you kind of what we're working with. Now this place is pretty big. There's 2 stories, 2 floors full of all sorts of really, really cool artifacts and I guess historic pieces from Australian history, from World War I and stuff from all over the place. We're not qualified, we're not historians, so I guess we're probably not going to try to describe any of the stuff that we see in here because we don't want to upset anyone.
We'll get it wrong.
Because we'll probably get it really wrong. But yeah, we're going to go for a bit of a walk around. We're going to show you guys the place. While we're doing so, we've got the trusty EMF reader. We're going to have this...
What?
The mannequins. Guys, as well, there's a bunch of mannequins set up here with all sort of old historic clothing and stuff. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
That definitely picked it up on the camera. There's a bunch of weird noises and stuff going on here too. So This place is believed to be really active, but yeah, let's see what we pick up tonight. EMF reader while we're walking around, and we're also going to give a go to a couple of EVPs. We're here with Stephen and Barbara, who conduct tours and work here and run, you know, all sorts of tours and stuff around here. They showed us some of the footage and EVPs and things that they've caught, and geez, like some of them are really clear. Actually, we've got a bunch of goodies, a bunch of new things to try tonight, a bunch of brand new equipment that we've never used before. One of them being the REM pod, which basically... That's pretty cool. Yeah. Goes off by touch. Yeah, to start off with, we're going to start off nice and slow, see if we can make contact with any of the spirits here. Again, introduce ourselves to them. We're in their space, we're in their home. Yeah. So let's, you know, make ourselves nice and welcome. Let's show you guys around, and yeah, let's see what we get tonight. Let's do it. We'll start off downstairs, work our way up, and let's see what we get. Let's do it. Let's do it. Cool.
Yeah, it's loads of creepy or cool taxidermy stuff.
I like this one. This one's pretty cool with all the hummingbirds. Yeah, they are beautiful.
Especially because you guys can see it on the camera right now. Yeah. It's really glowing. For you arachnophobics out there.
Yes.
Tarantula. Yeah, it's not a giant tarantula, but...
We saw one of those.
Funnel spider. Most venomous spider in the world.
So this is through to the main room.
The saloon part.
Exactly, guys. This room that we're going into now used to be, I guess, an old refreshment house, what they called it. So there used to be a massive island bar that was throughout the middle of this room, and soldiers and people would come from all over, you know, New South Wales, going to and from the war. You know, they would stop here, have drinks, rest, and I guess it's just full of history. Loads of history in this place. And now it's full of all sorts of cool artifacts, cool items, but I think this is where we're going to start the first...
Sure.
Literally something just like pinched my hair. I kid you not, I felt it like ding, like as I walked through a little cobweb or something, I don't know. So in this room we're going to do our first investigation tonight. A couple of items in here that were believed to be, I guess, really haunted. There was this saddle here that Stephen mentioned to us last time. Now, Stephen is one of the gentlemen who runs tours here and works at the museum. We'll obviously link his Facebook page down below. So if anyone wants to get in contact with him or, you know, organize a tour in this beautiful place, then the links will be in the description below. Feel free to reach out to his Facebook group, get in contact with him. I'm sure he'd love to, you know, possibly help set up a tour for you. One of the pieces he was mentioning last time was his saddle. He actually mentioned as far as like people touching it and having like real vivid visions of, because this was from Egypt, this saddle.
Yeah, World War I, 1st Australian Light Horse Regiment.
Exactly.
So this saddle actually saw combat back when they used horses.
So this is where I would have been back in the day. At the blacksmith anvil. This is where you would have seen me banging on the metal. You know, banging out, banging. So you could have imagined people like on this floor, like, you know, like doing like dancing and stuff, you know. I don't know how they would have danced. Maybe doing like the hokey pokey or something. But
it's the hokey pokey.
You know the hokey pokey? And you do the hokey pokey and you turn around. I know, because you put your left foot in, you put your
That's the hokey pokey?
Yeah. You put your left foot in, you put your left foot out, you put your...
Oh yeah, you put your left foot in and you shake it all about.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And you do the hokey pokey. But, you know, they would have been like dancing and like relaxing in here and probably like trading war stories and stuff. Like, I don't know, it's pretty crazy.
They're picking up girls with their wagons.
Maybe, man.
I don't know.
So we're going to jump into an investigation. We've got the REM pod going. We'll keep that live. We'll throw on an EVP. So we'll do a voice recording while we're here. EMF is still going. I might even just honestly set that down somewhere when we start. I think we're going to try the dowsing rods in here tonight. And we're also going to give a go to necrophonic while we're doing the dowsing rods. So I guess without further ado, I think we'll jump into the first investigation of the night. And I think let's get into it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
We are going to give these a go while we're investigating. We also have the EMF reader in the back corner. We also have the REM pod, which if it's touched, so any spirits that come into contact with it will trigger the REM pod. Depending on how active it is, we may pull out some of our other kit as well, but in the meantime, this is what we use right now. So without further ado,
Jeez, honestly, every time I turn this app on,
creeps me the
yeah.
Alright. They're freak or Rick? I don't know.
I thought it said freak.
If there are any spirits here with us right now that would like to communicate, can you please cross these rods in front of me? I can feel you pressing on the rods. We mean no harm. I only want to know your story and maybe ask you some questions.
Okay. Did you hear that?
Yeah. Thank you for crossing the rods over in front of me and allowing us to know that you're here. If you're a male, are you able to point both rods to my left? And if you're a female, can you point both rods to my right?
Man. Did you hear it say man?
Yeah,
Which way was it for man again?
left.
So it was point the rods to the left if it was a male.
Yeah, so it's a male. So
And
if it's,
it literally said man as well.
and if it's a female, right. I think. I'm pretty sure it was.
Are we speaking with multiple spirits?
That's a good question.
Because it's so active.
Yeah. To the male spirit that just moved the rods to my left,
Hey all.
is there multiple spirits here with us right now? If there is, are you able to just move the rod in my right to the far right? Are the spirits all around us right now, throughout this room? If they're all around us, are you able to cross both rods in front of me, please?
I almost feel like that said behind you. He comes. He comes. Oh my god, that was quick.
Alright, so they're all around us. They're not scattered, they're like right around here with us.
Ask if they're able to point the rods to the REM pod.
Right
you.
behind me. Alright. To the spirit that I'm communicating with, the man that I'm communicating with, are you able to point both rods, the tips, to the REM pod directly behind me, please? I'm not sure how he's going to point because it's right behind me.
Well, I mean,
What?
it's kind of gone. I guess if you stood on more of an angle, maybe stand over this way so you can see the REM pod on the background in case it lights up as well.
Yeah, he may have been confused because he can't. Alright, I'm just going to move for you so you can... Again, are you able to point both rods, the tips, pointing in the direction of the REM pod?
If that isn't to the REM pod,
Is it, I'm trying not to move at all. I'm
Like-
not even moving my head. Is it pointing at it?
like it's pointing like almost directly. Look at it. It's hard to see on the camera the rods, but they're literally pointing right to it.
Just stand on that side of my hands. Stand on that side of my
Yeah,
hands.
look at it. It's literally going straight to it. I mean, you can see the light of the REM pod. Holy crap.
I wonder, like, what's keeping this spirit, like this man that we're talking to here? Maybe I'll ask if he's haunting the place or if he's haunting an object. Because there's a lot of objects here. It might be an object or it might be the place.
Yeah.
To the spirit, the man that I'm currently communicating with, do you haunt an object here in this room or this building? Or do you haunt the building itself? If you haunt an object, are you able to point both rods to my far right? If you haunt the building, are you able to point both rods to my far left?
So it haunts an object.
Yeah, an object. What object?
Are you able to tell us what object you haunt?
Can you, to the spirit that I'm communicating, the man that I'm communicating with right now, are you able to point both rods to the object that you haunt, that keeps you here, the object that
You're attached to.
Yeah, that you stay here with? I guess rather than trying to divvy up what's here, you can just point to it if you want. Again, I mean you no harm. I only wish to know more about you and know your story. If you're able to point the tips of the rods to the object that you haunt, that keeps you here.
Are they still on? They're still
Something at the
going?
bar? Oh. Yeah.
Are they still moving?
Yeah.
They're still going. Is it the saddle? Dude, that moved so quickly. Is it the saddle? I mean, it's kind of like...
The right rod got stuck on the left log. The left logs.
Ask if it's the saddle.
I'll turn facing the saddle for him. To the man that I'm currently communicating with, the object that keeps you here, that you haunt, is it the saddle that I'm standing directly in front of? If it is, are you able to cross the rods over in front of me, please? It's a saddle.
It's a saddle.
It's a saddle. Maybe he rode it. Like maybe it's his saddle.
To the spirit that we're talking to the male, if the saddle belonged to you, are you able to give us a clear EVP, yes or no?
We mean you no harm. We, again, only wish to know your story and know more about you. If this saddle did belong to you, can you let us know by saying yes or no?
Say no. Yes.
I just said yes. That was clear as day, yes.
Are you able to touch this device, this REM pod? Are you able to make this device light up if this saddle belonged to you? Alright guys, we're going to pick it back up in a second. You know what's weird about that? One of the weird things is like, the first time that we were here, when we were doing our first tour, Stephen mentioned that when he was taking a group through, like there was a person that got pushed through the stairs. Do you remember that? And he also mentioned that when that person was leaving, she had the scratch marks on her back. Let me ask the question with the dowsing rods real quick. So the spirit that I'm communicating to, the one that's asking us to go towards the stairs, are you able to point both of the dowsing rods to the stairway if you'd like us to go towards it? Able to point both of the dowsing rods towards the stairs on my right hand side? be able to make the rod in my right hand go as well. Well, if that
going upstairs.
If that ain't towards the stairs. Again, if you'd like us to come upstairs, you're able to cross the rods over in front of me.
We mean no harm.
It's so faint, man.
Maybe because he's already up there? I mean, that's crossed. Do you want to head up there?
Yeah, you know what? I reckon what we do. Last time that we were here, guys, we conducted our investigation upstairs. We never actually investigated downstairs.
And from what we know as well...
So I thought it was another person there, but it's not.
Bring it around so you guys,
I reckon,
so you can see my pretty face as well.
I honestly reckon what we do is, because we never investigated downstairs last time, we investigated upstairs. I feel like we're not getting as strong a connection down here.
Well, Stephen also said that upstairs is much more active than down here. Like every single room has its own thing. There's tons of ghosts. He said, well, it's like 30-something ghosts.
30-something spirits
haunt this place.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe they're all upstairs. Maybe originally when I was first talking to them, they were down here. Maybe they've all congregated upstairs.
Yeah. I reckon we give a crack to upstairs. I reckon we try to investigate up there, because that's what we investigated last time. That's where we got the most activity.
Yeah.
And I reckon we see what we can capture up there. I reckon we take the kit, we head upstairs, we set up a few, tools, and we go from there, see where the night takes us. Downstairs, we're not getting as much activity. I don't know. I feel weird downstairs too. I feel very off.
Yeah.
Alrighty guys, so with that said, we're gonna wrap this episode up here. We're gonna take the kit, head on upstairs. If you guys enjoyed this episode, make sure you leave it a like. Comment down below if you're excited for part 2. We're gonna investigate upstairs, see what we get. And again, I guess we'll catch you in the next episode.
See you up there.
Alrighty guys, we'll see you next week.
Bye.